So yesterday I'm going through my timeline on Twitter and I saw a Bleacher Report article. This article was written by one Philip Lindsay and the article was all about, well, the same thing this video is about. Roman Reigns and Kenny Omega. It was a comparison between the two. Now, in case you're living under a rock and I need to explain this to you, Roman Reigns is the top guy in WWE. Roman Reigns is the face of WWE. Roman Reigns runs WWE. Now, Vince does, but you get my point. Then, Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega, he's the face of AEW. He's the AEW World Champion. Kenny Omega is the belt collector. Kenny Omega is the guy who's had this storied, infamous career in Japan with numerous, amazing 5 to 7 star matches. So, that's Kenny Omega. These two guys, respectively, are the top stars in their promotions. WWE is the number one promotion, AEW is number 2. So, these two guys are the top stars in these respective promotions. We all know that. We're all aware of it. Elitist, get on with the point of the video. You're just babbling. Okay, fine. Basically, Roman Reigns and Kenny Omega, it's a fun comparison. So, with that being said, I thought it'd be a fun video to do. Now, I thought about how I'd go about this because I thought to myself, yes, I could read this Philip Lindsay article, but then I thought, one, you guys can do that yourself if you really care to do so, and two, it's a long article, so I don't want to be here for 20 minutes just reading an article for you. So, with that being said, I thought I wouldn't bother reading the article, I'd just take the general sentiment from the Philip Lindsay Bleacher Report article and turn that into my own piece of content. So, with that being said, Roman Reigns, Kenny Omega, let's compare them. I think I'll start it out by talking about mic work. Now, mic work is a fundamental in pro wrestling. Mic work can take you from being a run-of-the-mill, random, bland, sit-in catering for 4 years jobber, like a Humberto Carrillo, or one of those type of guys, or a Ricochet. It can take you from that to being the top guy in a company. If you have good mic skills, like a Dwayne The Rock Johnson, like a Triple H, like a John Cena, like these type of guys, if you have mic skills, that goes a long way. So when you compare Roman Reigns and Kenny Omega on the mic, this one, Kenny Omega has come a long way on the mic. This guy, he used to be more awkward, like, in Japan especially, like his interviews were decent, but just generally as a promo, he was never like, oh my god, Kenny Omega, the promo machine. Like, he was always the best bout match machine. Promos weren't his thing. So Omega's okay at promos, he's definitely improved, but he's got Don Callis there to literally cut his promos for him. Meanwhile, Reigns, he has Heyman there, but one thing, if you've been actually actively watching SmackDown, Reigns hasn't relied on Paul Heyman for promos the same way Brock Lesnar relied on Paul Heyman for promos, okay? Roman Reigns comes out to open SmackDown near enough every week, which I'm not the biggest fan of them just having Reigns just come out to open every SmackDown with a 15-minute promo, but nonetheless, Reigns comes out there, does his 10 to 15-minute promo, and just literally 80 to 95% of just Roman Reigns talking. Yes, Paul Heyman might say a few words, Jey Uso might snatch the mic and say a few words, Reigns, the guy he's feuding with, might come out and exchange a few words, but generally speaking, Roman Reigns is carrying a 10 to 15-minute opening segment on wrestling's A show, SmackDown. On the show that the most people watch, 2+ million viewers basically every week. A few months back, that was upwards of 2.3, 2.4 million viewers. Reigns is carrying a 10 to 12 minute promo on his back, and he's doing it in a compelling way. His words, his delivery, he has good fluctuation. It's not just like he's speaking in a monotone, robotic voice. Because out of Reigns and Omega, Omega's the one who, more often than not, has more of that kind of monotone, less fluctuations in his promos. Reigns, the delivery's on point, what he's saying has weight, the execution's really good. He's come such a long way since Suffer and Succotash. So, in that regard, Roman Reigns takes mic skills. As far as character, okay, when I'm comparing character, I'm comparing Roman Reigns, who he's the head of the table, he's the tribal chief, he's a proud Samoan who for years was booed and booed until his immunocompromised state made him take a pandemic off from WWE, and ever since then he's came back with his focus and his onus being upon protecting his family, being the head of the table, making sure everyone falls in line, everyone respects him, everyone shows him the respect he deserves as the number one, the top guy in the company. You have that guy, the tribal god Roman Reigns, And then you have Kenny Omega, who Kenny Omega's character, essentially, Omega is the belt collector. That's his, like, current gimmick. Now, Kenny Omega, obviously, he's had a number of gimmicks in the past. Best Bout Machine, all this kind of stuff, you know, Kenny Omega, etc., etc. But when you compare the two at the moment, you've got Kenny Omega, who's running around with Don Callis, essentially saying, I'm the best champion in wrestling history. I'm going to collect all the belts. That's Kenny Omega. Roman Reigns is saying, I'm the head of the table. I'm the tribal chief. If you're challenging me, you're going to fall in line because no one disrespects me or my family. No one takes food off my table, Jay's table, Paul's table, you know, just our table at the Samoan lineage. No one takes food off our table. The fact that you're trying to do that, you're going to be taken out and beaten severely. So when you're comparing the two character-wise, I've got to give the nod to Roman Reigns. And once again, this goes back to mic skills. Roman Reigns articulates his character that much better on the mic. Roman Reigns, in his promo segments and in his storylines, gets off his character and delivers his character, you know, that much better than Kenny Omega does. So that's the Reigns and Omega comparison as far as mic skills and character. Now, I think I'll compare in-ring. I want to do some in-ring comparison here. So when it comes to these two guys, obviously, Kenny Omega has the better catalog of matches. Kenny Omega has performed in better matches. Now, when it comes to these matches, when have most of these matches taken place? 2017, 2018, 2019. Kenny Omega historically is a better in-ring performer than Roman Reigns. I don't think it takes Einstein to figure that out. I don't think Kenny Omega's in-ring catalog versus Roman Reigns' in-ring catalog can be debated. What I will say, however, is since Roman Reigns came back as the Tribal Chief at the very end of August 2020, since then, in the past 7 months, Roman Reigns' pay-per-view matches are all hits, no misses. Okay, this man, month after month after month after month after month after month after month, Roman Reigns shows up to a pay-per-view and puts on an absolute classic time after time after time. Now, yes, this is only the past 7 months. Is this some 3, 5, 10-year long run of consistency? No. But if you're saying that to try and take away from Roman Reigns' greatness as far as his in-ring work in the past 7 months, then you're just being blatantly delusional and just ignoring what's right in front of you. Because the fact of the matter is, Roman Reigns in the past 7 months has put on some of the best matches in wrestling in the past few years. Be that the I Quit match versus Jey Uso at Hell in a Cell. That match was incredible. The match they had, Reigns and Uso, a Clash of Champions. Damn good match. Just bell to bell. Insane. Survivor Series. Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. WWE's number 1 and WWE's number 2 going at it in just an absolute war, a fight of a match. Damn good storytelling. Both guys look great. That was fantastic. Then, TLC. Reigns, Owens, TLC War. This thing was insane. Just that match. It had more violence. It was just great storytelling all around. Then, Christmas Day, the Steel Cage match. Reigns versus Owens in the cage. Great match. 4 million people viewed that match. Insane. Then, Royal Rumble, the last man standing match between Owens and Reigns. Another really good match. Reigns and Bryan in the chamber. Doesn't really count. That was like a minute long. And then Reigns versus Bryan at Fastlane. I've seen many people give that match 5 stars. Personally, I didn't even enjoy that match that much. But it was still a damn good match. And if you deny that, then I don't even know where your bias is based. So that's Reigns' catalog in the past 8 months. Compare that to Kenny Omega in the past 8 months to a year. Omega, he's had the matches with Moxley. Be that the match at Winter is Coming, which was a good match. It was an entertaining match. There was the screw job finish with the chair. Then the exploding barbed wire death match, which as a match wasn't bad by any means. It was a pretty damn good match. And then the ending kind of tarnished how we see that match. So that's Omega's pay-per-view matches. As far as Omega's other stuff, Omega and Rey Fenix on New Year's Smash. New Year's Smash. That match, damn good. And then he's just been in a bunch of tag team matches with the OC. Or sorry, what are they called? The Good Brothers? Gallows and Anderson, the doctors who fondled with Big E's balls, them. So Omega's been a part of those matches. Overall, Omega is better in ring, just overall. But when it comes to recent performance, in the past 8 months, I'm saying Roman Reigns is a better in-ring performer than Kenny Omega based upon the proven track record of Reigns, pay-per-view after pay-per-view after pay-per-view. So that's in the ring. So basically, if we're going to wrap this up, character, mic skills, matches, those are like the three main things in wrestling. I could compare, merchandise, branding. That one would go to Roman Reigns. Head of the table, tribal chief, that kind of stuff. Reigns is better than Omega in that regard. What else do you want to compare as far as Reigns and Omega? Do you want to compare their managers? I mean, Paul Heyman versus Don Callis. Don Callis and Kenny Omega, the pairing who did 69 a week ago on Dynamite. Like, okay, interesting comparison there. What else do you want to compare with Reigns and Omega? Like aesthetic look? I mean, both of them look like superstars. I think Reigns probably beats Omega as far as the look, but I mean, that's just that one's a bit more subjective, but generally speaking, I think Reigns wins there. Basically, the point of this video, Roman Reigns, Kenny Omega, both are great, but when you're comparing the two head to head, Roman Reigns near enough objectively wins most categories. Kenny Omega is better than Reigns at some stuff, but generally in the ring over the course of his career, generally as far as, I mean, that's near enough it. Just, Reigns and Omega, that's the comparison. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to like, comment, so you know the drill.